Welcome, world. We are back.
Yeah, we live.
Episode 38 of the Lookout Podcast. The weirdly, extremely quickly season finale.
I know, right? Like, get ready, guys. We're still talking about Tien.
We still talking about Tien. Listen, four episodes. This is all this season.
I think that's enough because if we would imagine getting 10 episodes about Tien,
it would have been sick. Nah, if we had done every episode and made it into its own episode, people would have been like, "Nah, I'm checking out on it." But this is the fourth final piece of it all. If you'd like it all, and if you haven't heard any, well, you're free to binge this entire season.
Yeah, it's not going nowhere. We
had a good talk with Rainey first episode of the season. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
people still listen to that. People still love that episode. Second episode with Jamal. Shout out to Jamal, newest of RNC. Bang. And then last episode, we talked about, the semifinals and just had a great discussion on that. We had a great discussion on the potential of another movie, Dragon Ball Super movie that might be dropping in a couple of years or so, and what creative shit we come up with
blockbusters only
in terms of that. So this episode, we thought the Dragon Ball news was dry. Fortunately, E3 decided to provide us with enough sustenance so we can continue this damn podcast.
Basically, yeah. that helped a little bit.
At E3, Dragon Ball Z, formerly known as the Dragon Ball Project, a game that was revealed earlier this year. It looked pretty interesting. It looked pretty enticing, especially from the first few visuals.
E3 game.
E3 revealed game is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Showed us all the gameplay. Showed us all the action. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. What are our first thoughts on this game?
I don't like to be put in a specific box. I'm very create your own fucking player. I want that. I want a full, because at first I thought that's kind of where it was headed before E3.
Sure.
And I have read things that it could be potentially based off Goku, and not that I'm bored of Goku's story, but how many times and how many ways can you retell this and make it fun? Because every time you buy a Budokai or a Raging Blast or whatever, you 9 times out of 10, you're going to go through the Saiyan saga and the Frieza saga. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm worn out by it, but it's
you feel free to be worn out by it, to be honest with you.
No, I'm just saying it's a watered down concept. I'm pretty sure the people who are purchasing this game know about this show pretty extensive. Yeah. And that's kind of my thing. I would have preferred a complete open world, just create your own type of player. And I know they kind of do that with Xenoverse. I get it. Create a Majin or create a Saiyan or human or Frieza race, whatever. But it's still you're still restricted in Xenoverse. And like I said, when I first saw this, I thought it was going to be massive. I thought it was going to be they were still going to retell parts of the story, but maybe you're going to have your own character or you can create your own Saiyan. But now you're probably going to be changing. You're going to be playing towards Goku. And I heard that the game probably is going to end after Frieza. And
yeah, that's kind of even disappointing.
Yeah, that's kind of even disappointing, right? So I'm just it's cool, whatever. It looks good. I think they look like they spent some more time on the actual atmosphere of the game, and it doesn't just look like regular Dragon Ball Z, mountains and if you're gonna be having, because Xenoverse, it's very simple. When I first bought Xenoverse, I was frustrated that I couldn't make an android. The Saiyan stuff is very bougie shit. You know what I mean? 20 different hairs. They don't tell you what it looks like when you transform. You just wait for it. It's I just need a little bit more in-depth stuff. But the game, I'm sure, people will purchase it. I don't think it's going to be a blockbuster type of a game, but
it's not a game-changing game for me.
No, yeah. It's not, because it's not something they haven't done before.
Yeah, this isn't making me truly want to buy this game. To be honest with you, when I first eventually saw this entire game, and I'm watching the gameplay of it, because I mean, I think at that E3 they kind of just like, okay, we're rolling out this gameplay, and we get to see you know, the first, you know, encounters with Raditz and the battle with Raditz and et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, I was like, yo, this game should have been made like 15 years ago, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was. Like, I'm just saying, like, they've been doing this shit, bro. Like,
yeah.
Retelling the story, adding a twist, you know.
I mean, this is way more expansive than possibly any other thing. Like, we're in here, people out here, they're flying, they're swimming underwater, there's mini games, there's all this other extra shit in here.
People just want Dragon Ball Z online, and that's kind of period. Like, that they don't want they want the mass. You know how people complain about like the Pokemon stuff. It's like they want it to be open, massive, and do everything.
If this was a Pokemon game, and very open, and we're getting kind of close to that.
We are.
As with each passing game, we're getting incredibly.
We discussed this. You and I discussed it.
Incredibly more close to this. But if this had been a Pokemon game, I would have been like, oh shit. I mean, even telling the story of Ash, I'm ready. I'm going.
Yeah, no, that would have been but that's because we haven't
got that before.
Yeah, we haven't had it. Like, but as far as telling Goku's story, it's like, come on, man.
I mean,
we have been there, done that a million times. If you want to make it pretty and you want to make the game massive and add some cool DLC or whatever, and because all the next game is probably just going to be, you know, fucking Dragon Ball Vegeta or what, you know, if that is where this is headed, then I'm not interested.
Very, very, I'd say disappointing from the original trailer. Yeah, underwhelming. There we go. That's the
original trailer made you think shit was about to be a full great game.
Even the name was kind of like, Project. Oh,
right. It makes you think like it's loaded with
no Z, no GT, no Super. It's Project.
Everything.
What's going on here? Someone said this about Rihanna and Fenty. It's because she calls it Fenty that we don't get tired of Rihanna.
Right.
And it's because we have all these different characters in Pokemon that we don't get tired of Ash.
Yeah, it just is what it is. He is not really the main attraction.
But with Dragon Ball, it's all the time.
All the time.
You're sick of it. You're sick of the same thing. Like, I gotta face Raditz again. He's not even. He was harder in Budokai than he was in this game. Listen. Let's get into what we're talking about this week. And we are, I would like to say we're transitioning from one finals to another. If you listen to last week's Friday episode of RSPN, you'd see that we have a new world champion in the Toronto Raptors. Mm-hmm. So shout out to them. Shout out to Canada, I guess.
Shout out Canada.
And now we're transitioning to the World Tournament Finals because we have Tien Shinhan versus Goku. But before we do that, of course, you know what we got to do. We got to do Last Time on the Lookout, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Last time, what was that episode, 37?
Yeah, last time, episode 37. We got to do Last Time on the Lookout.
Oh my God.
Okay. All right. I'm getting.
I know what's crazy, real quick, before I get going.
Sure.
Whenever I saw, it's funny as you just said that. I thought about the fact that this man Clay tore his ACL yesterday, and then I thought about Yamcha getting his leg cracked.
Don't say that. Clay is much more of a competent. Clay could have probably beat Yamcha in a fight. Like, Clay is...
I'm not trying to compare the two.
Clay is much more durable.
You were saying one final after another. It's like, yeah, you're right. It's like everybody's going down.
That's how I felt. It felt like they were going up against the Saiyans, right? Like,
it did.
Everyone's going down, and Curry's the only one that's left.
It helps me get through it, man.
There's no one to save him.
All right, let's get it, man. Last time on the Lookout. Last time you I haven't got absolutely blitzed yet.
That's okay. Maybe it happens now.
Right after, right? Let's get it.
Let's get to Last Time on the Lookout.
Last time on the Lookout. Second rounds, Jackie Chun versus Tien. They have some pretty cool fights. Jackie Chun ends up being a little hoe and quitting at the end. Kind of reminds me of Naruto versus Miriam, but that's a whole other story for another time. Goku versus Krillin have a great fight. I feel like Goku low-key is just acting like he's just fighting his friends, so he's enjoying it, but he turns it up on him eventually, ends up kicking his ass and moving on forward and getting to what we're talking about today, which is episode 38.
You did it.
It was kind of tough because we talked a lot last week, but like You know what I kept going back to? I kept going back to our 2-hour conversation after the show. Like I was like, damn. I was looking at like our call sheet for last week, and I was like, damn, I might be able to actually get this done in 30 seconds.
Yeah, man, we only had 2 matches last time, and this time we only have 1 match. But it is.
I know, but I kept thinking about our conversation after the show. I was like, why were we talking for so long? And then I remembered.
Yes,
we had some bro talk, but yeah. Welcome to episode 38 of The Lookout.
Listen, we are at the finals of the Tien Shinhan saga. Everything is sort of amping up in intensity, and everything is amping up emotionally because there's so much on the line. It's 2 schools that are on the line: the Crane Hermit School, the Turtle School.
Fire name, by the way. I don't think I've said that yet.
It's so much that's revolving around it. Tien is who has just been blindsided by Jackie Chun, aka Master Roshi, quitting this match and really kind of like dropping. Master Roshi kind of did like this mini like terrorist attack on his heart. Like,
oh god, don't even remind me, man.
Man showed up and it was just like, he said, he gave him a little duppy freestyle type of thing. It was like, you're an approachable dude, my guy. Like, you're not.
Yeah, that's literally what happened. That's what happened.
Like, you're not, you're not as tough as you think you are. You're an approachable dude. You're a cool guy, man. Like, why are you trying to incite this hate and try to be something you're not? Just accept who you are and accept your fate. And next we have Goku. Goku, who this entire time, I mean, sort of the road he has traveled it through this, not as taxing, quite honestly. Probably way.
He's having a good time. He's having a regular Goku time, as fun as much fun as you think he'd have. He's having
way less dramatic. He almost gets kidnapped for a bit, but then finds his way back.
Of course.
Fights his friends, has a great time fighting his friend, beats his friend, of course. Just having a great time. 2 worlds, though. I mean, at this point, though, it gets serious because they are trying to kill Goku.
Yeah.
Goku also wants to win this tournament because last time he did not win the tournament in the last world tournament. So he really wants to come in and he really wants to do well and he really wants to be called the strongest fighter. But there's a man called Tien Shinhan, standing in his way. Interesting tidbit about this. Did you get the point where the announcer guy, by the way, has no name?
Okay. Announcer guy, this is the same man. No?
This same man as, what do you mean?
Like, this guy has been doing this shit like
forever.
I'm not tripping, right?
He's in Ball, he's in Z, and he's in GT.
He has seen it all. And
he has no name.
Hey, are we going to get a world tournament in Super?
Oh, okay. That's what I wanted. All right. We'll say
okay. That's fine. Sorry. You just actually him himself actually made me ask you that. So anyways, we'll get to it.
That's the question I asked myself same yesterday. So we're
okay. Cool. Good.
You know what? Let me write that in the notes.
Yeah, I know, right? That's a good question for real.
Oh my God. Okay. But still, interesting tidbit. They announced the average fight time for both. It says Tien's average fight time in the world tournament is 32.5 seconds.
Oh my God.
And Goku's average fight time in the world tournament is 35.7 seconds. And to me, as a person watching this, like if I was in the crowd and I have these 2 fighters, average fight time was less than a minute, I would have been sick. I would have
been hot, dude.
It don't even make sense. I mean, I know the what's his name? Pompit. I know the Pompit fight was incredibly quick, and then I also know the Yamcha fight was incredibly quick.
Well, it's an average, right?
Yeah, it's an average. It's an average of both fights.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you said that because they never show that side, right? It's like in animes, there's like when somebody's in a tournament and like there's somebody OP and like the guy comes in and like knocks him out the ring and like the crowd's going nuts. It's like y'all not mad, right? Like, I know y'all came to see a good fight. Like they're always going crazy. I'm like, how much did you spend on these tickets?
I think the only time the crowd got unruly was in Z during the Boo saga, where they were like, "What happened? All our participants flew away for some reason."
Look, man, Hunter x Hunter, there was 13-year-old kids knocking people out in Heaven's arena, and people were going wild. Matches were lasting 2 seconds. I'm like, damn, man, y'all enjoy this?
They love the bloodthirstiness of it all. This fight, rather long. It's a doozy. It's by far the longest fight in this entire arc, by far.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's warranted, but I also think that I guess I don't want to say it was a little too long.
Mm. I say that because in sort of analyzing this thing, I can separate this into three different acts of this fight. And there's pretty much the beginning act, which is kind of like all the showing and gesturing and attacks and all this other stuff, and them both getting to know each other, which ends up being like pretty much how every Dragon Ball Z fight from here on out would be. It's like, oh, I'm hiding my actual power level.
This isn't my final form.
And now the fight will actually begin. And then the second act, they get into little, it takes a little bit of an aside, a little bit of interlude with a lot of talking going on. And then the third one is where it all ends up. But I want to talk about sort of the first act of this fight, because I want to say in the beginning, the first couple moments of the fight, the animation for this is incredible.
You can tell that they wanted to, and is for me, I was thinking, shit, this whole episode about to be like this.
Yeah, I thought, nah.
No, they break away from that. They did a really good job. Like, you would have thought this shit was like,
I was like, oh, this pay-per-view, man. Like,
and once again, I have to keep I have to give like the credit, the choreography, considering how old this show is.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is there's fight scenes in Z that are absolutely trash. You know, like you can tell it was just meant to be quick and whatever, but like considering how old this is, and I know there's some people who they don't take ball serious or they haven't seen it because it is so old, but they do a very they've done a great job in this saga.
I think
from a choreography standpoint.
I think they do a great job at setting the tone beforehand with all the Roshi and the Shen and both of them are kind of like looking at each other and they're just like, you better,
Yeah.
Roshi's like, Goku, you better watch out. Master Shen is like, you better kill him. Like, and they set up the atmosphere very well. So when this fight actually starts, they kick it off with like, move after move, counter after counter.
You remember when Goku versus Cell started and how I anticipated it was? I remember when Goku instant transmission to even go see Cell, kind of like see how he was, and it's like that's kind of how it is. It's like, yo, this is it. Get everybody. You want the audience inside the show to be as anticipated as you are.
Right, 100%. Like we were saying, the beginning moments are just so incredible with the fight choreography and the animation for this, and it's really worth listening. It's really worth watching. Episode 97. It's probably the last like 3 minutes of the episode.
Yeah,
but just the way the blitz that they kind of start off of, and then Tien gets the upper hand very, very quickly, and then he just starts laying it into Goku. It's, to me, incredible. Just watching those machine gun punches into the wall, and Goku gets hit hard, and it keeps going, and it keeps going. He keeps getting hit hard, and everyone is shocked for the first time because this is the first time they've seen Goku manhandled in this kind of way.
And also, excuse me, it's almost like they wanted us to see how even this final is.
Right.
They did a good job making us believe some of the previous fights were even, and they weren't. In the end, but this one is like, no, this is what you guys have been waiting for. You know what I mean?
They're legitimately a match for one another, and Tien is in the beginning quickly want to establish himself like, yo, I'm that guy. To be real with you, I'm that guy, and he knocks Goku for a loop. But I also feel like this is Goku's MO.
Yeah,
I feel like this has been his MO for a long time, and it continues to be his MO for pretty much the rest.
Even about to say, even now.
It's like, let me get roughed up a little bit. Let me make him think that he got something, and then I'm gonna turn up on him.
It's that Saiyan shit. It's basic Saiyan stuff. It's like the most basic of Saiyan shit, which is we get stronger as we fight. Doesn't matter if they're getting their ass beat. They're gonna come back harder.
He introduces this term called battle strength, or battle, or
was it battle strength?
Is it battle power, tournament power?
It's something that I feel like they wanted to incorporate that kind of like.
It's a little precursor for things that happen, actually. Like, he says pretty much like, I have to use a certain strength, so I won't hurt anybody in this tournament. So it kind of actually lines up to everything that he's going with, especially with, you know, his match against Pomput and then how he kind of ended Krillin. He held back. And then when it came for the time, then he hits with that one really striking blow and it's all over.
Right.
Goku establishes at this point, it's like, hey, listen, I got this little battle strength going for me right now. Now I'm really about to turn up, and it's kind of it's a nice little precursor to kind of most things that happen, except it doesn't involve a lot of charging or powering up or anything like that.
Yeah, it's like
a prototype.
Yeah, it's a prototype for what we eventually end up getting.
He has and then it just kind of, then we see Goku kind of get the upper hand and things, and we see, the solar flare comes towards him. He manages to evade that.
Evade the solar flare.
Sunglasses.
It's goat shit, man.
Crazy. What are your thoughts on this kind of like this beginning sort of these beginning stages of this and just going forward?
If I would have seen it originally, like as a whatever for the first time before Z, I probably wouldn't have cared for it too much. But it's an appreciation thing, though. You know, like after watching Z and knowing what the show is, it's almost like I was meant to see Ball after Z.
Yeah,
for me, because
no, I agree,
because I understand it just shows me where everything came from. You know, if I saw it as for the first time ever, I think I still would have like been like, this is cool, but like it wouldn't have touched me how it has, you know, when I watched it this past time.
To me, the intensity and the urgency of Dragon Ball and these fights far exceed how it ends up for Z, because we talked about this earlier, and we talked about this a couple episodes of Rainy. It's just like with Z, everything is so like theatrical in a sense, where there are like these power levels, and you see the lights, and then everything, all these type of distractions and thing take away from the actual fight itself. Where Dragon Ball has none of that. It actually is all full on the fight itself. So watching them kind of like up close, and like Goku's like pushing him towards the edge of the ring with his punches, and then Tien is like he's got like a sweat above his brow, and he's like, damn, like I gotta, I gotta do something, and he thinks quickly on his feet and he manages to evade it. All of this is like incredible to me, because it's really a creative way to sort of build this entire fight. And it makes it a little bit more entertaining, and actually,
man,
this stands alone when it comes to Z itself. Like it stands so far apart from Z.
It's because because what's on the line is so pure, and it's so simple. You know, it's just, there's not 10 of your favorite characters' lives are on the line. It's not, the world is about to explode. It's much more simple than that. There's not a lot of like shenanigans. You need the shenanigans nowadays writing these shows, but like this is so pure and simple and calm, and the stakes are the stakes, is exactly what Rainey was talking about. Like when the stakes are different and you got like all these crazy things on the line and it's emotional. This wasn't like necessarily like, this isn't sad or happy for that much. It's just action.
Right. It's 100% action. And I think they did a lot of cool creative things in here that kind of separate this from things that we've seen before and things that we see after this, because to me, we championed this arc because it brought a lot of modern things that we now, kind of expect in Dragon Ball and maybe even in the rest of anime moving forward, to be honest with you, because it brings this kind of it adds these new techniques, which turn this entire arc from just turn this entire series, the Dragon Ball series, from just one about martial arts to now it's like, okay, now they have like powers and things like that. And now we're utilizing them in a different way. And that's kind of what Tien is really one of the pioneers for this, because he's one of them who plays with, the solar flare. We see it after the Four Witches. We see it after with just the tri-beam and everything that happened.
Yeah.
He takes it to the next level.
We gotta talk about that. Man, look, later on, look, man, the tri-beam, bro.
And we're taking it to the next level, man. Second act, things there's a lot of variables going into the second act because
some wild shit happened. The second act is some wild shit.
The second act involves a lot of interference by just the Crane Hermit School and even the Turtle School
man.
at some point. It's Goku. They see essentially Goku is on par with Tien, and just as the friends of Goku, I'm talking about Bulma, I'm talking about Puar, Oolong, and Yamcha, are kind of watching, and they're seeing Goku kind of being taken to task for the first time. It's the same on the other side with Chaozu and Master Shen, because they're finally seeing that Tien is also finding someone who's kind of worth his equal.
Right.
But because of the stakes that are on the line in terms of just like, listen, you killed my brother, you have to die, they're not willing to allow Goku to walk out or refuse to allow him to walk out of this fight without him being killed. So now sort of chicanery comes into play.
Right.
Chaozu begins using his powers to paralyze Goku, and Tien starts getting the upper hand. An interesting kind of way to go about things.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
It's cheating, man. That's my thoughts, man. It's interference. It's manager interference, man.
It's interesting. I like that they're incorporating Chaozu into this.
I don't mind it for the sake of the story.
I like it because now we're kind of seeing like we don't really get to see Chaozu in any other light after this. And we don't get to see how much of a factor Chaozu is and how much his powers are actually scary. I mean, we saw it in the last round or 2 rounds ago, rather. But we don't really get the full brunt of it. But now that we see him, I mean, he continues through this arc using his psychic power.
It's legit. And it makes me wonder why they haven't used it again. I feel like the power itself, maybe, I don't know. I feel like you try to take over Frieza's, it's
Frieza's the main psychic type in the game.
Right. Like, it's like you're cooked. Like, he's going to cook you, like, for just trying to do something like that. I don't know. I feel like the Chaozu power is cool, but there's a way that you can make it not look as OP later on in the show. Like, it's just, he's not powerful himself. Plus, the way that they do moves, it's like the move is only as strong as the character, and there's only a few slight things that are different. Like, some moves are just so OP no matter what it is. We've talked about the containment wave and shit, even tri-beam for that matter. We see how good tri-beam is even from the comparison of Tien's power to Cell.
Right.
So there are some moves obviously that are like completely good no matter what, but most moves are distinct with their character.
Goku looks almost KO'd to this point, and then Tien's kind of wondering, like, why is this fight so easy? It's ridiculous how easy this fight is. There's no reason why I shouldn't be killing him right now,
right? Or
that I am killing him right now. And he begins to realize that Tien has something to do with it after Goku says, like, man, you're cheating. Like, fuck this. Like,
right.
You're an asshole. Like,
he got tired of this shit.
Because every time he'd throw him out in offense, he would be paralyzed, It ended up coming down to Tien kind of realizing this and then telling Chaozu and Master Shen to stop, which he found, insubordination.
Right.
And we begin to see the full demise of the Crane Hermit School, and we kind of begin to see Tien's overall internal struggle begin to bubble to the surface.
His true story starts to unfold.
Ultimately, he don't care about blood feud. He's like, I really just want to win. Like, I want to fight Goku and I want to beat him. He's such a good fighter. I want to beat him. I want to say that I've beaten him. Where Master Shen's like, nah, you got to kill him. Like, this fight is not about winning. This fight isn't about becoming world champion. This fight is about killing Goku at any cost. And Tien doesn't have Tien doesn't have it in him to sort of go against his master. I don't think that's part of his sort of discipline.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though Master Shen is, he's yoked up Chaozu at this point. Chaozu out here, his feet hovering. He forgot he got psychic powers and everything. Great moment incoming. Master Roshi, interception Kamehameha. I love it.
I mean, it is like, to me, that shit that starts the cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we see that later on in Z, it's different.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often.
No. The interception Kamehameha sends Master Shen off the island pretty much. He starts blasting off like Team Rocket at this point.
Shout out Team Rocket.
Shout out to Team Rocket. And then I guess the real fight begins, and Goku starts laying it in to Tien, like laying to him bad. Like it's weird to see a kid beat up a grown man. But it happened. Shit.
But it happened. Happened again later on too.
Yeah, I mean,
no spoilers, right?
Oh my god! But that leads us to sort of Act 3 in this entire thing, which ends up being roundabout the finale of it all. And without the distractions of both of their schools getting involved, it ends up being this one-on-one fight between Tien and Goku. And they pull out some weird techniques, man. I mean, this Four Witches technique where Tien grows two other arms.
He needs to. Yo, I did. First of all, that shit.
You forgot about that shit.
I forgot about that shit, bro. Because I don't even think they put that shit in the games. Like, but that shit's fire.
Well, I mean,
I like it, man. I like it. It's some Hunter x Hunter shit.
Oh yeah, that's why you like it.
That's why I like it. Yeah, it's some Hunter x Hunter shit for sure.
But it's weird. I mean,
it is weird. It's definitely weird.
It's weird from an animation.
But you know why it's weird? You know why it is weird from an animation standpoint. But it's weird for you because I think it's weird because, again, we are much more familiar with Z.
Yeah. I think so to me, visually, it looks weird because there's arms coming out of his back, but he's fighting on its front. So it's kind of.
I know.
It just looks weird. They weren't thinking they were like 4 arms, buddy. Yeah, 4 arms. 4 arms.
They were more like wings.
Yeah. And it's just like now he has 4 arms and he's kind of utilizing them. But then I'm thinking, it's like, what is the true benefit of 4 arms? I mean, I guess you would have more. They would have to evade more punches, but then I'm also like, 4 arms.
Like they should have put them like underneath his ribs.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Instead, really they were coming out his back like wings.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
He should have grew wings, to be honest with you.
He should have grew wings. But he did hit Goku on the top of his head with the extra joints.
Yeah, I mean he hit him real hard. But then it just got like 4 minutes later, it's useless because Goku's just like, if you can do 4, I can do 8. And then he just like fucks around with his arms like a kid would. But then Goku gets the upper hand because now he begins to adapt to a man with 4 arms instead of instead of 2. It's really this kind of like Goku
4 witches technique. What a name.
It's a cool name.
It's a very cool name. It's a very cool name.
Goku locks him into Boston Crab. Wow.
You don't remember when that was my default? And
no. Oh my god.
In RWC years ago?
Huh. No, I didn't.
I have the still picture. That was my little default back in the day, man.
Oh my god. Goku again, a kid having a grown man in the Boston Crab. And he's like,
it's really funny.
It's like, yo, that's crazy.
Shout out whoever wrote that.
And then Tien uses his other arms to choke Goku, and I'm just like, that is impressive and creative and everything like that. At this point, Tien begins to realize that there's no way to beat this kid. You keep punching him. I come up with 4 arms. He still stands. I throw a Dodon Ray at him. He's still standing. I do anything and he won't go. So the only way to definitively end this match, which to me, he kind of, I would say it's a really like extreme, an extreme way to sort of, to handle this match. But he decides, hey, I'm about to blow up the ring. because if there's no ring, whoever hits the ground first is going to lose, and I can fly. So, which they call sky dancing in the dub. I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
Sky dancing.
Sky dancing. I heard it myself. Tri-beam.
The tri-beam.
Are you bothered that it makes a square and not a triangle?
Yeah, it should piss me off. I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad you didn't write it in, or did you write it? No, you didn't.
No, I didn't write it.
I'm glad you didn't, because yes, it irritated me.
It irritates the hell out of me.
And if you look at how, I mean, I don't get
how it turns a square.
I don't get it. They did it right later.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure.
No, the cell one. No, the cell one is still a square, bro.
You're lying.
It's as square as you're gonna get, and he does multiple squares. By
the way, I had just tweeted that picture of of Goku putting Tien in the Boston Crab, and young Johnny Barnes. He tweeted me. He said, "Got him in the walls of Kakarot." I think that's hilarious, by the way. So,
shout out to Johnny Barnes. Oh my god, the tri-beam is incredibly powerful.
It's a big move.
I think it's still like controversial in terms of how powerful this move is.
Well,
because
it basically. Well, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, because how many times does he use it? He uses it. I don't think any time he uses it, it's been like uberly successful.
It takes a lot of energy.
But there's also a period of time where he like uses it multiple times, and he's like,
"I'm fine."
Yeah. Like he's beating Cell down like 11 times.
Yo, he was hitting Cell that shit for what it seems. Well, the episode was like for at least 20 minutes of episode.
Right. It's of questionable strength. Let's see. He uses it. I'm trying to see the times that he used, because I don't know when the next time we're going to talk about the tri-beam. Just period. It's just
you guys may not hear this unless Goku decides he wants to start using it in Super for whatever.
They say so. According to Dragon Ball Wikia, we're going to learn this in King Piccolo Wars that the disciples of Master Mutaito used the tri-beams against Piccolo's demon clan. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. They're just using tri-beams, firing tri-beams.
Must be why they didn't last.
He uses it against Goku in this tournament. Again, he uses it against Yamcha on the lookout against the Illusion Saiyans in the Pendulum Room.
Okay.
That's from beginning to Z. I wonder if that'll be in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Let's see. He uses it Cell Games, of course. He uses the tri-beam to destroy Super Boo's finger beam. Okay. I remember that.
Yeah, I do. That's when he thought he was about to save the fucking day again.
You thought.
I gotta try something.
Uses in Dragon Ball Super to destroy part of a cave in the Resurrection F movie. I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
There's a lot of things I don't remember about Resurrection F.
Yeah, I need to watch that again, actually.
Do we?
I personally need to watch it again.
Do we? I mean, we might have to watch it. We'll see what happens. Anyway, the tri-beam is out here. It's super destructive. Apparently, it saps a lot of energy, so much that Goku even says, like, Goku even realizes, like, yo, his energy is tapped out because he used this tri-beam to sort of kill me. And now I'm going to go for, if he's going for the kill, I'm going for the kill.
You think that was the moment Goku was like, man, that shit trash. I feel like he's never, think about it. He's done everybody else's shit. Like he's tested out almost everybody else's moves, but he ain't messing around with that motherfucking tri-beam. He know from a young age that shit's trash. I ain't trying. He
just avoided it. I mean, which made it very anticlimactic because it's just a major move, and yeah, it destroys the ring.
He handles it. I know, but he handles it. Though.
He doesn't kill a soul, by the way. Like Tien has obviously got this thing perfected down because he legitimately just destroys the ring. It's not meant to kill Goku, but it's meant to destroy the ring, which is weird.
Right.
But now they're kind of just like floating in the air. and falling in the air and having a conversation while falling in the air.
Yeah.
And Goku lines up the Kamehameha wave to propel himself to, was it a punch or a headbutt to Tien? I guess it's whatever. He strikes Tien, and they both go falling a crazy amount. They both go falling. It's at this point. We're going to see who a winner is. It looks like Tien is about to hit first. Wham! A car.
Violently.
He struck the car, barrels the shit out of, I mean, it knocks him the fuck out. Not hard enough, but it, like, the glass breaking on the car was a nice touch. I'll say that. The immediately violent strike of, first of all, I like the shot of both of them, like, whatever that shot is, where they're going over the country type of thing, and they're like, right before Goku eventually gets hit by a car.
Right.
And they're just like, you know, going through the entire city, et cetera, et cetera. It looks like Tien is really about to hit first. And then he narrowly hits the car, strikes the car. He narrowly misses the car. That's what I'll say. He narrowly misses the car, but Goku gets hit by the car immediately afterwards. Glass breaks. He's stricken. He falls right to the ground, right before Tien. Seconds before Tien. And Tien is the winner and new world champion. Do you feel like this?
It was underwhelming to me. I think
like a Toronto Raptors win, kind of.
yeah. It's a little. It's
like, how did that happen? It's like you
know,
won, but like kind of, because the man got hit by a car, and it's like the Raptors, you won, but
you
like
also like cheated like 10 minutes ago. But
rate the ending. What are your thoughts on the ending of this fight? To me, it's a twist that kind of comes out of nowhere.
The twist, I feel like a twist could have been a better twist overall. I mean, it didn't have to be cars, but you know,
it's the last thing you would expect.
Yeah, but I just feel like, you know, they could have did almost anything else, and it still would have been okay.
To me, this is like a kooky twist. It's like, what if they're both falling and Goku gets hit by a car?
It's like a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 ending. But overall, the fight itself is entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of with you. Why not just use the tri-beam to like finish it instead of like try to destroy the field? But
we get our first beam battle, tri-beam versus Kamehameha, maybe first giant beam battle.
Yeah. I mean, I guess everything should have its purpose, but the ending of this was underwhelming to me.
The ending it plays out like, okay, we know Goku's strong, and the question is, he could still be stronger than Tien,
right?
But we'll never know, because Tien won this fight because Goku got hit by a car.
That's it.
They play up the mystery of like, they're these two strong beings, and we'll never know who's actually the stronger guy or who actually is the better guy until about next tournament. Because Goku gets hit by a car. And it's kind of like this weird twist of fate. And it's kind of like, you can't really predict anything. Like, anything can kind of happen in these types of things. I like it from the sense of like the anything can happen kind of thing, because it legitimately comes out of nowhere. And the first time I saw it, I couldn't believe it.
Right.
But I also thought it was like amusing that how that ended up deciding the fight. Like, there's certain things you can't predict in fighting. You can't predict, like, what if something comes and hits you out of nowhere or something, like, I don't know. It's just weird. I thought it was...
They could have done a lot of other things. That's all.
Did you want a more definitive ending?
Yeah, I wanted there to be a true... Like, could you imagine if we got, like, some lopsided ending to, you know, the Tournament in Super?
Oh, the Tournament of Power?
Yeah, it's like at least
Jiren gets hit by a giant rock.
You know, I don't know. Like, it wasn't corny. Like, it wasn't corny. Like, this is just like, okay, I guess. And then, of course, well,
the rock breaks from under Jiren, and that's how he loses.
Right. Like, but I'm saying, but to make it even, like, I don't want to say to make it worse, but like the post match stuff is like,
it's interesting. They're like, oh man, what a great fight. Oh yeah. Wow, right, great.
Meelz, come on, dog. Like, I'm just like, wait a minute.
Voicing for these people is hilarious.
Where's the anger and like, where's like, I don't know, man.
Oh man, you got hit by a car. What an amazing fight.
I would be at the booth getting my bread, bro.
Oh man, I was Tien Hive all the way. Like
I would have been like, man, give me my money
they're
back.
celebrating. It was like, oh man, what a kid, huh? And they're legitimately happy because of this fight. I mean, people got what they wanted, I guess.
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense for me for them to be happy, but they just saw a really great spectacle. To be honest, they really just saw a man with 4 arms fight this kid.
Use witchcraft to do it.
Yeah, it's one of the best fights they've ever seen. One of the best fights we ever seen up to this point in Dragon Ball. To be honest with you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I admit to that.
And then the post-match stuff happens, and it's very interesting post-match stuff because it's weird because this is the season finale of this season, but it ends on a cliffhanger, and we don't know when we'll return to it.
Yeah.
But the post-match of it all, there ends up being a little bit of a resolution because Tien eventually accepts, like, yo, I'm a good guy. Like, I'm a good guy now. Like, it's like Vegeta at the end of the Buu Saga.
Yeah.
It's like, you're one of the good guys now. Like,
and he just accept it. Just
accept it that he's a good guy now. He's like, damn. Tien's like, man, I was trash.
Like he just realized how shit of a person he's been being.
Yamcha apologizes to him.
Yeah, dude. I thought, okay. How does that happen?
Yamcha was like, man, you're a pretty good fighter, man. I was like, that nigga broke your leg. You're like, walking around. You're useless the next arc because of him. You know that, right? Like,
oh, you're right, man.
You don't do shit the next arc because this man broke your leg. Like, it's an interesting type of deal. Like, he invites him over to his house.
It ends very Dragon Ballish. Like they get back to basics.
What do you think about the underlying sexual tension between Launch and Tien?
I love Launch, man.
You like Launch? I don't know when's the next time we'll talk about Launch either.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's time maybe we talk about Launch.
Yeah.
You like Launch the character? Do you like what she brings to the Dragon Ball?
Yeah, I like Launch in general. First of all, the name is hard as fuck.
That's fire. It is a fire name.
Is she in
any game ever?
She could be. I'm not sure. But I always thought her design was fire too. Like just
I like the way
we gave Launch some love during the Fitz episode. No, did we talk about Launch any?
Maybe.
She got kind of fly.
She does her thing.
Yeah.
She does her thing.
Yeah, I like the blue hair. You know.
Let's see. Huh. I did not know. I forgot 100%. Launch was in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
I forgot completely.
Yeah, she's in Z.
She is 100% in Z. Multiple times.
Yeah, I'm about to say, bro, she's been around, dude.
But she isn't. So it makes me wonder why they decide not to like ever.
She's died?
No, she didn't die. She shows up pretty much. She shows up at the beginning. She shows up during the Saiyan saga, and then she shows up at the end of the Majin Buu saga, which is pretty much the end, which is pretty much the fan servicey ass.
So are we just expecting that? Are they just together on the low?
I don't think so. I feel like we'd know. Know.
I mean, I guess you're right. Under Tien's only relatives, Third Eye Clan and Launch as girlfriend.
Oh, they list her as his girlfriend.
They do.
Oh my god. Okay. All right.
But yeah, no, Launch is dope. I love
Launch is dope. I wish they brought her more over to the Z, and they could have brought her back they brought Pilaf back for Super.
She was in GT too.
She was in GT.
Yeah, she was in GT as well.
Fuck. When's the last time I watched GT? Oh, she shows up in a flashback. Meh. That don't count.
Hey man. They brought her on, man.
Listen, bring Launch back. How about that? Can we do that? Are you
Launch may be back in Super. Launch may be back in Super.
Are you down? Yeah, I would.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with it. Yeah,
I would be perfectly fine with Launch. We need more female representation in the show.
I agree.
They all decide to go out to eat because everyone's good now. Let's talk about this closing moment to this arc. Do you remember the first time watching this? Like, do you remember the first time seeing this scene?
I don't, dude. I don't.
You want to know why? You want to know why I remember seeing the scene?
What happened?
Because I feel like this was like the first time that like a death was like tastefully done. Like it was so poignant. It was so deliberate. It was so. There was something spooky and eerie about this entire thing, like Goku being able to like sense something before it actually happened.
Not right.
This to me is one of the most important scenes in all of Dragon Ball.
It changes the tone.
It changes the tone completely. It changes the tone. It kind of changes. Yeah. One, it definitely changes the tone of the series. Two, it changes everything moving forward. This is the first time a major character dies in Dragon Ball. I think this. I don't know. This might be the first time anyone dies in Dragon Ball, right? If you have not seen this, I advise everyone to pretty much YouTube Krillin dies in Dragon Ball, and actually you might have to look up a few things because Krillin dies at pretty much every arc in the show. But this one to me, I don't know. This one is it's very heavy to me because they play it up. Krillin's the jokester. Krillin's the most like inoffensive sort of character here. Like you don't really feel anything. He's kind of like a slickster, and it's at that point
you haven't got emotionally attached to him yet.
Nah, not really, not at all. But you know how much he means to the main character,
right? So it matters. It
matters, and even in this moment, they're all joking and laughing around, and Goku's like, I forgot my power pole in my, I forgot what else he left. He's like, my Dragon Ball. I forgot my Dragon Ball and my power pole. And Krillin's like, I'll get it. No worries. Whatever. Like, you've just been fighting this guy for like 3 hours.
Right.
I'll get it. No worries. And it's just something. Just Goku watches him run away, and it's just something doesn't sit right with him. And it's weird because this is the first time this has ever happened in the series. Like,
yeah, like it goes dark.
Yeah, and not even that. Like, there's never been a time where Goku has had a premonition about anything, but he has a premonition about this, and they establish the real connection that Goku and Krillin have, and this is kind of, I feel like, the moment they're like established as like best friends, but Goku's like, wait. And then he's like, there's this pause where they're both looking back at each other. And Krillin's got like some grin on his face. And Goku's looking at him. And you kind of get to feel like why is this happening the way it's happening? The tone is incredibly different from everything else in the show. And then Krillin runs off. And it's still shifting, and they're waiting for Krillin to come back so they can eat. And weirdly, Oolong is eating like some animal. It's gross. And then the glass shatters.
Yeah.
And Goku runs back, and he just drops everything, and he's just like, yo, something is up. Something is fucking wrong. Like something, like, have you ever felt that? You personally, have you ever experienced that life where you felt like something is wrong?
Yeah. 100%.
And that intuition. It can't even be classified as a feeling because it is intuition in a sense, but it's something that you feel, which is weird.
Yeah, you can't necessarily describe it. Like it's like even with deja vu, it's like you can't explain it. It's just like it just happens and you just move on from it.
He runs all the way back to the stadium. Runs all the way back. And he sees that Krillin is out on the ground. And announcer guy was like, the monster, it came through the window.
That's pretty good.
It took the Dragon Ball and it left this note. And Krillin is like, he picks up Krillin's head.
Yes, bro.
And it's
the whole tone, man.
it's just his eyes, and he's just lifeless. And it's so weird because this is a kid show.
Everything changes like at this moment, bro. It's like serious. Goku's like crying.
It's like it's so, and it sucks because we don't know when we're gonna come back to this shit. But Krillin's dead. Krillin has been killed. Krillin, the first main character in this arc, is gone. In this series, is gone. And normally, in any other circumstances in Dragon Ball Z, death is whatever. It is what it is. But just the way this was done, and the significance it ended up having, and how it changes Goku, and how it changes the series, and how it changes everyone moving forward, it's crazy.
It's like, for me, it's one of those things, like, I guess because Dragon Balls, we've seen people get brought back with Dragon Balls because of Z.
Yeah.
But this death is like, oh, he's gone.
I mean, well, so we've seen it in Dragon Ball too. Like, they bring back what's his face's dad. The little Native American kid. I forgot his name.
You're right.
They bring back his dad. They bring back his dad from the dead, but this is just like shaking on a whole new level, man. Like, this is some crazy shit. This is some crazy shit. Like, I remember the first time watching this because I hadn't seen anything like this before. And it was weird because I've seen so many Dragon Ball Z fights before, and I've seen people die in Dragon Ball Z. Hell, I've seen Krillin die in Dragon Ball Z. Like, I've seen him die multiple times in Dragon Ball Z. But it doesn't seem to hit hard like this one. And this is...
Do you think it's because, just the manner of the show at that point,
it's the most
leading up to it?
I think it's because it's the manner of the show, but it's also like the most human type of reaction to it at all. It's not this guy destroys somebody. It's because the body isn't destroyed or anything. It's like, it's crazy. Like, usually we get those kind of, someone gets killed, they get blasted into a million pieces, and we never see from them again. This probably isn't the most significant death until Vegeta's death. But I think the fact that it was just so, there's like a raw emotion to it, and a human emotion, and the way it was delivered was this like intuition, and you kind of can relate to that as a person. I've had things where I've like, you ever just like stood in some place and watched something because you feel like someone is near or something is near?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it's just like, nah, something's off about this. That's kind of how Goku felt. And it's the most, they've created the most human part of this entire series, kind of just going through that, because I don't know, it was just done so well. I think it was done so well, and I think it's a great, after taking it to the next level with these fights, they find another way to take it to another level. They kick off the next arc, which is the King Piccolo arc, which is also another great arc in Dragon Ball. From King Piccolo to Piccolo Jr. It's one of my favorites. And they kick it off really, really well. And they kick it off with a bang.
I'm about to say, if you're going to bring in and get and prepare a new storyline,
introduce a character, new strong characters, this is how you do it.
That it's not it's a threat.
Right.
Like, we just got done with the tournament, but this is a threat. A true threat.
And that is the end of Tien Shinhan Saga. It kind of ends on a sour note. But it ends on it ends on the most interesting note possible, because there's no way anyone could have predicted that would happen at the end of this. It's legitimately a shocking ending. It's like, you think you know the ending.
A true season finale.
It's like, it like if Dragon Ball Super ended that way, like Android 17 wins, and then like he gets blasted by Frieza through the chest, I'd be like, oh shit, didn't see that coming.
That hurt. Yeah, that hurt me.
Or like no, even better. Android 17 wins, they save the universe, and then like Goku blasts Beerus through the chest or some shit like that.
Goku kills somebody, like
some shit like that. The Frieza jumps up in the stands and like breaks Lord Zeno's neck or some shit like that.
Damn, dude.
It's got me dark, man. Like
I'm saying, dude, you talking about some real shit right now.
He's like, yo, I'm the Omni King now, bitch. Oh my god. Frieza steals the Super Dragon Balls, wishes himself as the Omni King, like some shit. This is that type of, it's something you didn't see happen. I'm interested in how they promoted it because I'm sure there was like some spoilers, but this would be the type of thing you leave out, right?
Right. Yeah.
So crazy. That's the end of the Tien Shinhan saga. Thank you guys
I'm glad
for tuning in. Yeah, I'm glad we got to do this too. This is fun. Lookout news. What are we doing? What are we doing this summer? What are we doing? We're essentially not starting season 6 of the Lookout until fall.
Right.
We have to prolong this podcast somehow. If we did everything back to back to back, this podcast would have been over 3 months ago.
Yeah. We still have some a lot of content, some other things we can definitely go over, and in Z, in Ball, in GT. So I mean, they're in Super for that matter. So I mean, we'll sit back and get it together. But we got some more stuff coming.
Season 6. If you have not, first of all, if you didn't get your stickers, shame on you. For shame. But with that, we sent a great little note to everybody of things that people can expect. Actually, let me pull up this note. I legitimately wrote this off the cuff. I wanted something that people could be excited about when they got these stickers, because I was excited about these stickers because these stickers look incredible.
They are awesome.
Shout out to Crystal Face, who once again designed it. These stickers are amazing. I got into my Kelly Kapoor voice right now. Let's see. Where did I write this? Oh. Do I? Okay, I don't remember where I wrote it. Anyway, season 6 will be the Saiyan saga of Dragon Ball Z. That means all that cool shit that's in the video game.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to hear us talk about it.
You're gonna hear us talk about it, but it's gonna be fun because I think this is the most iconic sort of arc, and it's the most it's the first one of Z.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that introduces all your favorite cool characters, i.e. Vegeta. Yep. It's the one that takes everything you thought Dragon Ball would be to the next level, and it's not starting until the fall. So it's like, but Meelz, Jeff, what the fuck are you guys doing over the summer then? Well, like, what do you got us here for? We've stayed over an hour for this podcast. What are we doing? So we're doing summer at Kame House. And here's why I like dropping some tropical music or some shit in the background. We're doing summer at Kame House, and we're going to take a break from our normal programming and do some fun stuff.
Stuff that you guys hear us kind of talk about on the sly here and there while we're actually doing the Lookout. And we've been talking about doing something like this for a while, but we weren't sure how and when, but the time would definitely be perfect after this season.
We're both going to take a little break. Jeff's been doing RSPN all damn for his entire life.
A few weeks. A few weeks.
We're going to take a little break because we need to recharge our batteries. Also, it's nice not doing 2 shows a week, so I'll just be down to 1 show with the A show, which you can listen to on RNC Radio. Right. And then we'll come back. We're not sure what we're going to do first, but we're definitely going to plan out some things. We're going to definitely have a Hunter x Hunter episode because Jeff loved it.
Yeah.
So
I got to get that off 100%.
We're going to do a My Hero Academia episode because I love it. So
it's like we're both going to have to sit through each other,
gush about
fanning out. Yeah, like there's so many things I just want to say and like get off about.
Maybe we'll have guests too. Who knows, right?
Yeah, it's whatever, man.
I went through. Ooh, actually, let me pull it up now. So, boom, boom, boom. I don't know if you know this, Jeff.
What's up?
I did when I was gathering everyone's addresses to send it to. I asked people, what can we do to improve on this show?
Oh, really? No, I didn't know that.
And some people filled it out. Not everyone filled it out. To be honest, it wasn't really a prerequisite. It was like what it's legitimately like it's whatever.
Yeah, just holler if you want to.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find this this thing. Here we go. Shout out to Google Drive. It just does. It does what it does.
It does what it does, dude.
It does what it does. Let's see. Okay, so we got a couple responses of it says please comment on anything you'd like to hear on the lookout or anything that can be improved going in on year 2. But an optional. Not everyone had to respond, but a majority of people responded. So thank you.
Nice.
It says the first response was Dragon Ball. I think we got that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you guys are satisfied with that.
We got that out of the way. Second response was how garbage GT was. Should we do a GT episode?
I have no issue doing a GT episode, but I think that we're gonna find I'm gonna find myself probably defending GT more than killing it. But I hear you. Go ahead.
I think we should plan we're not going to talk about any arc in particular, but I think we can just talk about Dragon Ball GT in general.
Openly. Yeah.
We can just talk about how we feel about it and things like that. Someone said, keep up the good work, fellows. Thank you.
Hopefully we've been doing that.
It's one other person says, I think Super Eye Patch Wolf would be a fire guess.
I mean, you got the call?
I don't know who Super Eye Patch Wolf
I'm about to say, you got the call. Call
him. Super Eye Patch Wolf. Might be a fire guess. Maybe I'll extend and see what happens there. We've extended to multiple guests and they have not responded. So, it
is what it is. Right?
Another one says, keep up the great work, homies. Hopefully we get a Dragon Ball Talks in the future. Boom, boom, boom. Another says WrestleMania. Wow. Okay. Wrong podcast, my guy, but
Thanks, buddy.
It says, another one says, no improvements needed, just waiting for Super to return to give you guys more content to talk about. Maybe an episode discussing Moore's arc so far in the manga. And we did that. I didn't even read this, but we did it.
Yeah, shouts to that. Good. I'm glad. I hope that person got what they wanted. But
by the way,
we hope Super is coming back too soon.
We hope Super returns as well. I'm reading all these for the first time. So all these that you're saying, I didn't actually follow them, but I'm glad that we did them anyway. One says, wouldn't change anything. Keep up the good work. Boom, boom, boom. Love that. One says more Dragon Ball movie reviews. So we're gonna add Dragon Ball movie definitely to our lineup. It says great content. I'm a big fan of the show. You guys go really in depth with the stuff from Z and Super. Would love the occasional throwback to cover more Dragon Ball content.
Cool.
Let's see. It said one says I was thinking I'd love to hear you guys dissect Yu Yu Hakusho. Also cover the Buu saga. We covered the Buu saga. You guys can look back at that.
Yeah, you guys can get that now.
Yu Yu Hakusho. Is it something I should watch?
Yu Yu, same guy who did Hunter x Hunter. It's I mean, Yu Yu is considered, it's godly. It's a top tier anime.
It's the Mount Rushmore-esque of anime. Yeah,
it's up there.
Okay. 100%. More DBZ movie reviews.
Nice. Okay. I'm surprised people are really into the movie reviews.
I am as well. Because I haven't watched movies in a long time. But the movies are fun. Yeah. Cool. One says longer episodes and show GT some love. Goodness. I don't know how we'd get any longer episodes.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can go longer on these episodes, maybe, but I don't know. You guys may get a little tired. What was the other thing he said?
Also show GT some love.
Show GT some love. Yes, I think there are these like cult GT guys low key out there that like actually enjoy specific things about GT, because I think there are specific cool things, kind of like you said it last week, I believe. Like, take the cool stuff and just bring it back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just bring it into, make it canon.
Yeah,
just the cool stuff though.
Did you know there's a clip of Joel Embiid on the bench preparing for Game 1 last year, and he's watching.
Yeah. He's watching. Yeah.
I think he's watching GT.
I'm aware. Yeah, I saw it on Twitter at that time.
You think we got to invite him on the pod?
I mean, if we were to get him on the pod, that would be the biggest get that we've gotten, probably. But
it wouldn't be the first NBA player we've reached out to do this podcast. I'll tell you that.
This is true, guys. We tried to get another NBA player, and we may try.
I mean, let's talk. It was it's my homeboy from Sacramento Kings,
De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox. We tried to get De'Aaron Fox. We got his information. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you guys candidly this far, because this podcast is clearly.
Yeah, you can tell him.
I'll tell him candidly. So we got his people's information. We got in contact with them. They asked if he was interested, and they were essentially, the response was like, no, he's not interested. And but you know what? Fair enough. This was during the summer. We contacted him last summer. He was preparing for the season he had, and he had a great season.
Yeah, exactly. He may not have been in the space to do it. It's cool. We're gonna ask again.
He's improved tremendously since his first season.
He's going to be a great player. Yeah, he's gonna be a great player.
I mean, he would just be a much better human being.
If you guys want De'Aaron Fox on the show, tweet him.
Yeah, we should tweet him.
Tell him to come on RNC and tell him to come on the lookout.
Please tweet
talk about some Dragon Ball with us. He could whatever he wants to talk about.
Please, probably Fox. So you could just
holler at us.
Legitimately, everyone tweet him, please. And the last one, last but not least, just says Frieza Saga.
It just says Frieza Saga, huh? See, I think what people understand is in order for us to really properly do Frieza Saga, we got to go through Ginyu, and it's just like.
Frieza Saga.
I only want to do it right. I know it is long, but I only want to do it right. So, like, if we're gonna do it, we might as well
we're gonna do something
sectioned off properly.
We're gonna definitely, if we do Frieza Saga, we got to present it in a way that's big, because it's quite honestly the most recognizable and monumental arc in Dragon Ball history.
Yeah, it's the one that I think that shapes Z.
Yeah, it is.
It's it's the one.
It's the first time they travel into space. It is the first time we see Goku in multiple fights. It is the first time we see everybody else in multiple fights.
Yeah.
It's the first time we see a character change alliances and become
probably
good guy.
The biggest stakes
ever.
Super Saiyan.
Most evil villain of all time and most iconic villain of all time. Super Saiyan.
Yeah. Some Gohan stuff. More big deaths.
I don't think people realize how long that arc is. Like, you have not gone back and watched that arc. It is long.
It's long.
It's longer than Boo, and we had a problem with
How long did the Frieza Saga run?
Let me see.
In America. What was the month span?
I'll tell you right now. Frieza Saga.
I feel like it had to be a whole school year.
Longer than that.
If not longer. I was about to say, if not longer.
100% longer than that. Frieza Saga started. Actually, no, not Frieza Saga, because it starts on Namek, so we got to go back further.
Yeah.
Frieza Saga. Oh God, it started. The first time it was aired on English television was in 1997.
Okay, so I was 8. It was around the same time Pokemon debuted. I think I was 7. We both were 7. You were in 8. I was 8.
1997.
I was 8.
All right. I was 7. We're 2 weeks apart. I was 7. It doesn't end until November 3rd, 1999. So over 2 years.
Yeah, over 2 years.
Over 2 years.
We were still. See, I wasn't watching Dragon Ball at that very point.
It spans 60 67 episodes, which is the longest thing that we've ever done.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it would be massive. It'd be massive. But if people are interested, I want to go through the specs. I want to go through Ginyu if that's what we have to do.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely would have to.
If we're gonna do it 100%, we gotta go all the way.
But I think we've pretty much covered everything in Dragon Ball Z, and by the time we do, season 6, we'll have covered all arcs except for the Frieza arc. But I think we set it up with a lot of context for things, because a lot of this is going to be talking a lot about villains, Frieza, all these other things. Frieza Saga is pretty much the best saga to do at the end. Like,
yeah, definitely.
And then from there on out, we'll have some more super stuff. We'll have entire GT to go through.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have Dragon Ball. We still have a lot of Dragon Ball.
Once Super comes back, I mean, we're gonna be we'll be in action for everybody. We'll make sure that we're intact. I know that you and I have been reading the manga, so we're gonna know kind of how things are gonna be operating from the animation standpoint, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
But to see it, animated it'll be dope, because I think that they're gonna do a pretty good job bringing Super back into like its true form.
Right. Thank all of you guys for not only, just listening, continuing to submit, all these, everyone who got a sticker. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those comments, I didn't know about that, but like that made me a little emotional. So, I know from me, that shit is dope, and the feedback is awesome. So we love it. I know I love the tweets when even if it's somebody I don't know, or even if it's the people I do know, that shit is incredible. It makes me feel good about myself. I know Meelz appreciates the shit. So yeah, man, I'm more. We'll be back for sure.
We'll be back. This has been episode 38 of The Lookout. Next time you listen to us, we'll be chilling. We'll have our feet kicked up, and we'll be at Kame House discussing some very cool stuff. So look out for that starting in July. Sometime in July, you'll definitely know when we figure out a date, and we'll come through with the entire lineup, so you guys can prepare, and guys can learn, and you guys can take the ride with us. But until then, stay ready, stay tuned, stay prepared. It's The Lookout. We out.